Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Spellblade Wizard build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. Now this is a modded subclass, and I'll be going over the full subclass, Artificer coming later. But with this one, we got some pretty cool synergies. You can also start with a level of fighter to give yourself Constitution saving throw proficiency and heavy armor, but we're actually not going to go that route. I'll show you a full 12 levels, but that is another option that you do have. As for our cantrips, I always like to have Mage Hand or Minor Illusion, as Minor Illusion can group enemies together. Mage Hand can throw water bottles and health potions for you, so one of those is a good choice. Shock and Grasp to stop the target from heavy reactions early game is nice, and Ray of Frost, so we'll go with those three there. As for our cantrips, I think it's best to always have Shield. This is an essential, increase armor class by 5. Magic Missile, good stuff. Find Familiar for the Raven to blind targets and draw aggro. Long Strider's nice, you can have someone at camp cast that. I like to have Fog Cloud as well. Thunder Wave, if you can push someone off a cliff, that's always a good feeling. And then Chromatic Orb is good for being able to change the damage type, so we'll go with those spells. As for our ability scores, we want to have a good amount of dexterity because we are kind of a hybrid between not only a spellcaster but a martial in a sense. So we're going to go with 16 dexterity, put our constitution up to 14, 10 wisdom, 10 charisma. Something like this looks good. And for skill proficiencies, we'll leave it right around there. So I'll be going over the gear at the end of this video. So this build's actually kind of strong and different from the other wizards. Now we get to choose our subclass, and we're going to go Spellblade. So this gives us Rapier, Short Sword, and Scimitar proficiencies, as well as light armor proficiencies. So we could use light armor. I'm not going to go with light armor for the purposes of this video. But the Spellblade, the wizards of the Spellblade school dance between magic and the edge of a blade, embodying both grace and lethality. Mastering timing and finesse, their blades flash with the power of arcane energy, swift and unpredictable. So for subclass features, we get the Mind's Eye, so opportunity attacks are made with advantage, automatically attack an enemy moving into your reach. Additionally, you gain an extra reaction each turn. So this is pretty much like the Sentinel perk, so you can automatically attack enemies that are moving towards you. And extra reaction, always great. Finesse parry weapon, so when wielding a finesse weapon and you're not wearing a shield, you can use your reaction to parry the next weapon attack, reducing the damage to 0 based on your intelligence modifier. This sword that we got here has an extra reaction on it as well, so it makes it very synergetic here, as we are quite reaction hungry. Now for our next leveled spell, we can go with Expeditious Retreat here, and Sleep is nice early game. Witchbolt even has some usefulness too for some people. Mage Armor is nice to increase armor class to 13 plus dexterity modifier, so we'll go with that there. And then for prepared spells, we can go with something like this, and Thunder Wave is nice to push enemies around and knock them off cliffs. Level 2 spells, I like Scorching Ray personally myself and Hold Person, although Darkness is another great spell. Misty Step for survivability. We do get something like Magic Weapon, so don't take that. Flaming Spear for tanking as well as another great option, and Web. So pick one of those ones. We're going with this here. As for the spells, I think we're going to go with our Scorching Ray. Hold Person being a really great crowd control option as well, so don't be afraid to go that route too. And then at level 4, we get ourselves a feat. So I think Intelligence is a good choice. We don't really need to take Sentinel as we already have this built in, but it can stop the target from moving if that's your jam. Even Polar Master, if you took the Fighter, could be nice because this gives you the opportunity attacks and extra reach weapons. Alert for +5 initiative also works, but we're going to take Intelligence up. As for cantrips, Firebolt or Bone Chiller, two great options there. And again, Minor Illusion's always a good one too, so you could go that route. As for our spells, now we're going to take Misty Step. Mirror Image is nice for +9 armor class. Invisibility can have some usefulness too in combat, but we're going to go with Darkness here. And even Clouded Daggers can be really useful early game damage, so you could go that route as well. And then for our spells, we're going to go with something like this. Now, once we get to level 5, we get ourselves level 3 spells. Lightning Bolt being the biggest damage source we got, because Create Water, if you have someone with that, you can double this to 96 in damage. Fireball is great too, but we also like Counterspell. Does use your reaction, but you don't have to use it. It is nice to have it, especially on a wizard who has a lot of spell slots. So we can go with something like this, and then take our Lightning Bolt too. So boom, pretty good. Now at level 6, we get ourselves the Spellblade Flurry. Big power spike. After casting a spell, you can make a melee attack using a bonus action. It says use a bonus action, but using a bonus action. And the mod watchers watching this, little typo there, but that's all good. Fireball, and Haste is pretty decent here, but if we break our haste, we're in a world of hurt, so I almost like to have my sorcerer with the Constitution saving throw proficiency to cast that, but it is an option. Sleet Storms is nice to upset concentrations, and Fear for it hits in a cone and can make enemies drop their weapon. That's another great choice. I even like Animate Dead personally myself, but we can't go with anything here. I'm just going to take Haste because that's some people's favorite spell, so we'll go that route. Now, once we get ourselves to level 7, we get level 4 spells, which we want to take Minor Elemental, super useful, and Ice Storm can be good, or Fire, Wall of Fire. So this doesn't require concentration, makes ice surfaces that people can slip on. This is like crowd control, almost like Cloud of Daggers with fire damage. Confusion also being another great spell, and even like Greater Invisibility can have its usefulness. But we're going to go with something like this for our spells, and even Fireball can make its way into your spell list as well. Remember, a wizard can learn any spell they want, so you don't have to be bound by these here, so we can take really whatever we want, and we'd always learn more later. So we'll take Fireball here, and for our feat, Alert is really nice for the +5 to initiative. Around this point in the game, it's pretty much, you want someone to have it, and having a caster with it just makes a whole lot of sense. For our level 5 spells, 2 standalone best spells here, Conjure Elemental and Cone of Cold. 8d8 cold damage that can be doubled is huge, and then Conjure Elemental can actually set enemies up to be weak to your cold attacks. We also got the Spellblade, so when wielding a finesse weapon and not wearing armor or shield, you gain plus intelligence modifier bonus to attack rolls and deal additional magical damage equal to your intelligence modifier from 4 different damage types. Enhanced Finesse Weapon Parry. When wielding a finesse weapon and not wearing a shield, you can use 1d8 plus intelligence modifier to reduce the damage. That's really nice. We also get ourselves a Swift Enhanced Magic Weapon, giving us a +3 to attack and damage rolls onto a weapon, making it magical if you don't already have a magical weapon. I like Hold Monster here. Greater Invisibility or even Dominate Person, Planar Binding can be useful, so we'll go with these here. And then for our spell, take off Confusion, go with that there. Looks pretty solid. You can take off your Find Familiar if you want, but this is pretty good. Level 11. We get a few really good ones. Chain Lightning's huge. Autoluke's Freezing Spear can be great too. Even Wall of Ice is massive. So one of these spells, Global Invulnerability being another one for survivability's sake, can be good. But that's why we got ourselves the next level, because then we can take our Wall of Ice and the Freezing Sphere there. And then we can even go with our ability score improvement, take intelligence up to 20, which will give us the ability to prepare 1 extra spell here. So we can go with that there. Global Invulnerability can make some encounters in the game extremely easy, so that's another really great option. And Wall of Ice, never a bad choice. So once we get into things here, I'll go over to combat and typically how you want to perform your combat encounters. So I guess we'll just move this around here and go into our prepared spells. So you got 1 extra slot there. We'll use a Wall of Ice. That's a pretty good one. Then we got our prepared spells, cantrips, class actions, Arcane Recovery, allowing us to recover a spell slot. So we got ourselves the Minor Elementals. I would recommend going with the Ice methods. They're nice because if you set up water or vulnerability to cold damage, these can be great for just dealing a little bit extra damage. We also got our Conjure Elemental here. You can upcast this. You can even use your free cast here to go with your Conjure Elemental and cast in like an Air Myrmidon or a water one. But even going with the Water Elemental, it can create chilled on punches, which gives you double cold damage. So that's another great option. I like the Water Myrmidon. It's quite strong. It deals cold damage as well, so it works well with us. We got our Swift Enhanced Weapon there, which lasts for 10 turns. So this gives us +3 to attack and damage rolls. Now as for gear, we got a nice 21 armor class, which is pretty good. This comes with the Hood of the Weave, Cloak of Protection. I have the Bracers of Defense alongside the Duelist Prerogative, because this has extra benefits when you have nothing in your offhand. So it gives you critical hits on 19 and an extra reaction. And you can use reaction to deal necrotic damage equal to your proficiency bonus. And you also get the Duelist Enthusiasm to attack as a bonus action. We also have the Hell Rider Longbow, increasing the initiative by 3. Killer Sweetheart for critical hits. Ring of Protection for +1 armor class. Amulet of Greater Health to put our Constitution up to give us 122 health. I'm using the Mage Top here from the Basket Full of Armor, but we can go with something like the Vest of Soul Rejuvenation will give us a nice 20 armor class. Robe of Supreme Defense can also give us a nice increase to our armor class if we're concentrating on a spell, and you can get this a little bit earlier on in the game. If you got it, the Helldusk Armor, never a bad choice, because this gives us the ability to get our armor class up to 26, so if you're later in the game, you can go with that, and it looks pretty spiffy too. But even the bhaalist armor works really well here, because we got ourselves the ability to make targets vulnerable to piercing damage, which is what this does here. So that can work really well. Hood of the Weave, giving ourselves a nice 20 armor class here. So typically what we want to be doing in combat is setting up, we have spells, but we also attack pretty strong. So we got ourselves the attacks here, which deal a good amount of damage. We're not going to see the full extent of our damage here, because whenever we're using the bhaalist armor, it doesn't actually infect on our teammates. So that is one downside to it, but this does hit pretty hard. So you can see there we're dealing multiple types of damage: lightning, thunder, and fire damage. And then we can also do necrotic damage with this weapon. So, sorry, Boo, didn't mean to hit you here, but giving ourselves extra damage and all that on top of it, we're actually pretty strong in combat there. So we're hitting hard, and we also got all these extra spells to be able to deal tons of damage with. So something like a wall of ice can like completely mess up the enemies, and if you have create water set up, all that much better, because then you can just go create water and then hit hard with the wall of ice here, which knocks people around like that. So pretty effective. We can just short rest to bring everyone back, and then I'll go show you what this looks like in combat. So we'll just leave camp here, and typically you want to do some weapon attacks, but starting off with spells, because we can also do attacks as a bonus action. So we got lots of options for damage, which is incredible. So we'll find ourselves some unlucky guy here, and we'll just go ahead, cast our darkness, and then we can go. Oh, he's gonna run out there. Crap. I was gonna attack him from hiding, but the beauty of this is we can attack as a bonus action, so we don't have to worry about anything there. We'll just wait till he gets a little bit away. Oh, he's just gonna go through the door. So we can go into turn-based mode here and just go ahead with our attacks, just to show off the damage potential there. So we hit pretty hard. And then we can bring out someone else here to just take them out, and then I'll go into the combat in the overworld. So these are just level 1, so we are just taking them out pretty easily there. But we're probably going to start combat the moment we get outside here. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Murdered someone in view of a guard.
And yeah, we'll attack. So we got a lot of people right up front here, and then what we can start off with is, oh, we lost some of them, but we got Cone of Cold. This is really useful because we can try to set up here and then go Cone of Cold, and the damage that Cone of Cold does is massive. 38. We were able to take out him, and then yeah, that was much more damage than I thought it was going to deal. But we can also attack as a bonus action, so had we had enough movement we could go in there and attack there, but that's what we got ourselves, a bow of many targets to go ahead and attack with. So we don't have to just focus on attacking with our melee weapons. We can go ahead with ranged weapons as well, and we also got our swift magic there, so we can apply that. So that's now on our bow as well. So this is actually pretty powerful because we get a ton of damage, and we can cast spells and attack at the same time, giving us a ton of different damage options, which is really nice. So yeah, this is actually quite powerful. We're gonna hit some people there. Oops, I hit myself. We'll get Gale out here. I don't have the min-max. I got him with the Shar Spear of the Evening for whatever reason, but yeah, this build is quite powerful for a variety of reasons, but the ability to do some crazy stuff like casting spells as well as dropping down attacks right afterwards is super nice. So this is a fun build, and I encourage you to give this a shot because you get yourself some reactions too, which is nice, and a whole lot of different damage options. So it's a very powerful build, and it's a fun one because there's nothing better than being able to cast spells as well as attack. So this is a pretty cool build overall, and we'll just bring out our elemental just to show off why this one is so good, because this the explosive icicle is super powerful. So you can go, oh, it's not gonna let me, it might let me go boom 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 boom. These hit quite hard, so 24 critical hit took them out. So yeah, Ice and physical attacks make this very powerful. If you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.